you should make it so that there's a limit on what you can cut for a fight, and you have to be monitored as well leading up to that fight, and that kind of those kind of restrictions should be set in place. But it's hard to do, especially at a lower level. It's hard to put those restrictions in place because who's paying the money for for you to be monitored? How would anyone know that you're at this weight weeks out before a fight? It'd be hard to sort of monitor, I suppose. So at the lower weights, I don't really understand how you could do it other than just sort of doing away with weight cutting altogether. Every single one of my fights, I felt like I've had a disadvantage with height and also weight. It seemed like all the guys, they all weighed way more than I would, even when we rehydrated. Not to say that like, I was necessarily bothered by that. Like, it doesn't matter to me. That's part of the game. If you weigh 77 kilos naturally and you're able to get down to 66, and the next day you're able to rehydrate back up to 75, 74, whatever, then, good for you, I guess. You're able to do that with your body. So that's fine. It's part of the game, play the game. Yeah. So then from that, me, going up a weight, I got to, the guy I was against was much bigger than anyone that I'd faced in terms of frame and stuff. But I wasn't in there for long, as you know. I wasn't in there for long. But the time I was in there for, it didn't feel like the guy was necessarily any stronger than anyone I'd been against before or anything like that. Although I do want to try for bantamweight.
Bantamweight.
Yeah. So that's as you know, that's a weight class below 66, which is 61 kilos or 135 pounds or whatever that is in stone. I have no idea. But yeah. So that it's something I would definitely want to try. I want to try to get down to it because I just feel like in the same way that you have guys who cut from 77, 78, close to 80 kilos to get down to 66 kilos, I want to have that kind of advantage at 61. And that's where I'd have it because I don't naturally walk around at 77, 78. I'm nowhere close. I'd have to eat a lot of food in order to get to that point. Like I walk around at most 74 and that's when I'm being fat. So, there's no, me getting down from where I normally walk around at, I'm cutting at most 6 kilos to get down to 66.
Yeah, Mike was saying earlier that some guys he was advising, so it might have even been yourself, like when they get down to the last few kilos or grams or wherever you're at, he says he always sees kind of nearly like a mental thing where it's like, no, I can do it. I can do whatever it is that has to be done to my body, even if it's not a good thing. Did you ever find yourself being in that kind of mindset? Like you forget about what's good for your health and you're just like, no, I just have to make this weight.
Yeah, every single time.
Yeah.
Every single time I do it, I always get to a point towards the end where it's like, say, the last kilo or something like that. And I'll forget about maybe how this is going to affect my health. And I'll start thinking about how I can get to the weight because tomorrow I have a fight. So it doesn't, I don't even, to be honest, for the most part, I don't think that my health really comes into factor, or it comes into my mind, like when I'm thinking about weight cuts or even fights. I'm not thinking, what's gonna happen to me? How's this damage going to affect me in say 10, 20 years? That's not what goes through my mind. And I'm not saying that to sound cool or whatever. It's just not something that comes into your mind because I'm not thinking about that when I'm fighting or when I'm training. Like the goal is to I want to win.